Yeah, welcome to the session. So today again we are going to have a very important session, but prior to that I just wanted to understand what have you understood from the previous two sessions that we have done. Any changes that you have brought into yourself in your daily routine or any new technique which you have applied in yourself? Anybody who just wants to speak can raise the hand and talk. So it was regarding self assessment and career counseling. So that was a very important session, you know, because unless we assess ourselves, unless we know ourselves, we will not be able to bring any change in me and around me. Even if I'm looking for a new job, even if I'm looking for any new opportunity, I'm looking for any new industry, I'm looking for new whatever things in my life. The first important thing is assessing myself so that I know where I am standing. What are the SWOT analysis? We have spoken about SWOT of individuals. So when I do this, I understand the weaknesses that I have, right? So I'll not go much deep into it, but I'll only say whatever sessions are coming up, please attend all the sessions. The timing is same. It is on every Friday, 7:30 to 9. Okay. Link might come late, but then again, it is going to come. So let's begin the session today, which is about resume building. Now, all of you must be having a resume. Let's understand
Yes, ma'am.
few points. Okay, what all should be covered in the resume? How your resume can be, made shortlisted. How you can attract the eyes of the recruiters. Fine. So just a small concept that I have mentioned here. Of course, most of you know this. What is a resume? A typically short and quick way for a job seeker to introduce themselves to the potential employer. So that is why your resume becomes a very important document in your life, which describes you in a concise format, in a short and a quick way. Okay. A written compilation of your education, experiences, credentials, accomplishments, which can be used to apply for a job. A document that tells prospective employer exactly what you want them to know about you and why you should be a good fit for that open position. So your resume is first encounter with the employer, the recruiters. So definitely this piece of paper actually describes you to them, like what you have already worked on, what you can bring to the company, and why you can be a good fit for this position. Okay. It should advertise your skills in an easy to read, logical, and concise format, tailored as per requirement. Fine. So every job that we apply, every company that we apply, we can tailor, customize our resume depending upon the job description that is mentioned. Okay. Why do I need a resume? A resume is a screening tool to select which candidates to interview and which to rule out. Now, from the mindset of a recruiter,
Ma'am, I
please
think
understand.
slide is not
Now,
changing.
slide didn't change.
Ma'am, it is
No,
still
still
showing
it's
the
not.
first page only.
Resume building only.
It is not changing.
No.
No,
Here it is changing.
it
Okay.
is showing resume building by Divya Dikshit, first page only.
So now
Okay.
it's changed, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. So I think the uh, slideshow mode cannot work here. Just a second. Okay. Fine. So this mode will work. So we'll study in this mode only. Okay. So a resume is a screening tool to select which candidates to interview and which to rule out. Now here, one thing which is very important. When you see a job on a Naukri portal, fine, you just have to make a click, right? Apply. You apply. But just imagine, like you, how many people apply for this job? Maybe 20, 40, 50, 100, 200, even 700, 800, right? When we recruit people, we get resumes up to 1000 and 1200 also. So now, among these people, I have to get my resume noticed. Because recruiters just scan. In a scan, if they see this resume is working, it is good. If they see this resume is not working, they simply reject it. Even without knowing that probably this candidate could have been the best fit for the role that they wanted, they have posted, or they have, advertised. So your resume becomes very important because it talks about you. So how to make your resume a sales brochure? Fine. Now, next very important question, guys. A resume is a sales brochure. How many of you agree to this point? Okay. If when I go to recruit, in colleges and campuses, even, experienced people who comes to me, everybody's scared of doing sales today, right? The first thing that they hear sales, no, 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 I don't want to do it. Please understand, you are a product and you have to sell yourself. So the more you run from sales, this is not going to help you at all. If you say sales is not my cup of tea, that means you cannot sell yourself as a product to the prospective employer. So a resume is nothing but just a sales brochure. A brochure regarding a product, and that product is you. Your resume is your sales brochure, not the product. And at the same time, it could be only chance to secure a personal meeting. So only if your resume gets shortlisted, you can be called for an interview. You can be called for a personal meeting where you can showcase your skills. But if your resume is not attractive, if your resume doesn't contain the required skills, the required knowledge, the required certifications, or whatsoever, we'll be talking about all those things one by one, then definitely just at the point of scrutinizing, scanning, this will be rejected. Okay, so resume is very important. First, let's understand resume formats. All of you must have seen this format before. Probably, I guess some of you might be having this kind of format in your resume also. Okay, but if you don't have, please change it quickly. Can you see this slide now?
I'm still
Yes, ma'am.
stuck on few resume formats with 4 resume examples.
So 4 resumes here, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. So these are few resume formats. I have also found it on Google. Okay. So you can choose any of these and prepare your resume accordingly. The chronological order of what should come first, what should come next, that is what I'm going to explain now. Okay. So if you have an older format of resume that is big, that is maybe 5 page, 6 paged, 4 paged, change it, guys. Nobody see those resumes now. Everybody is waiting for just 1 pager or maximum 2 pager if your work experiences needs elaboration. Otherwise, everything can be accommodated in this 1 page. Okay, so choose any of the formats and then prepare your resume. Yeah. Resume writing tips. So has the slide changed?
Not yet.
Oh, no.
No.
No. Fine. Let's do it now. Can you see this now? Resume writing tips.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
fine. So now, first tip, what does it say? Tailor your resume to the job. So customization of your resume is very important. Go through the job description, whatever it is mentioned, whatever it requires, change resume, change some skills, some relevant experiences or achievements that matches the JD which has been mentioned. But tailoring doesn't mean writing something which is not true. Tailoring means tailoring, matching your skills to the requirement. But customization never means lying on the resume. Because if you lie, somewhere or the other, the recruiter will get to know about it, either through at the time of selection of the resume, shortlisting of the resume, or at the time of personal interview. So never try to write anything which is false on your resume. Okay. Keywords from the job posting to ensure your resume passes through ATS and catches the recruiter's eye. So whatever key skills that is mentioned in the posting, okay, add those key skills in your resume. Now what happens when you add these key skills in your resume? So there is something which is called as ATS, applicant tracking system. Fine. So this is again a software tool where the required skill is just mentioned and pressed on the filter button. So all those resumes which carries these skills required by the employer, only they get selected. Rest all the resumes gets rejected. So that is why customizing is very, very important, because ATS is being used by all big and small companies. Naukri portal, when you talk about the portal like Naukri, Indeed, or whatever which is available these days. So all these have inbuilt ATS system. Okay. So this tailoring is very important. That's first part. Second is focus on achievements and not just duties. So what do? We just keep writing things in the resume and make it longer, and longer. See, writing every aspect of my work will not help. What will help me? How this job responsibility has helped me achieve different things in life. How this has helped me accomplish the goal that was assigned to me. So your resume should focus on the achievement which you have got in doing your work. Rather than simply listing your job responsibilities, emphasize on your achievements, emphasize on your accomplishments. आपने जो भी काम किया है, उस काम से आपके डिपार्टमेंट को, आपकी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को, आपके कंपनी को, इस सोसाइटी को कैसे बेनिफिट मिला है? Maybe customers को, how they have been benefited. So writing this achievement is very important in your resume. Quantify your achievement with specific numbers, percentage, if possible. अगर आपके जो भी achievements है, if that has certain statistics attached to it, so definitely put that figure. So I have been able to achieve 80% of my target. I have been able to recruit people 80% below the budget that was provided to me. So I've been able to save 20% of the recruitment budget. Similarly, we can do in marketing. Similarly, we can do in other departments. So if you can quantify your achievements, do mention that statistics, because this is something which gets scanned quickly, which can be noticed immediately as somebody looks at the resume. Okay. So what is the example mentioned here? Instead of saying manage a team, you should mention Just a second, I cannot see this. Yeah. You could say led a team of 8 people, resulting in a 20% increase in productivity. So now see, writing this is not easy. I understand. For giving examples, it is easy. But then writing this, it becomes difficult because all of our job cannot be quantified. हम जो काम करते हैं, maximum of that is a regular work. Maximum of that is a routine work. So every work cannot be quantified. So don't put much of your head into it. इसके पीछे दिमाग नहीं लगाना है. अगर आपका काम क्वांटिफाई हो सकता है, परसेंटेज में, नंबर्स में मेंशन कर सकते हैं, तो जरूर कीजिए. बट अगर नहीं कर सकते हैं, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. यू कैन सिंपली राइट द जॉब विच यू हैव डन. ओके, कीप इट क्लियर एंड कॉन्साइज. जितना छोटा से छोटा रख सकते हैं, एंड डायरेक्ट, क्लियर, इन स्मॉल वर्ड्स, नॉट बिग वर्ड्स. हम बहुत सारे लोग अपने रिज्यूमे को अट्रैक्टिव बनाने के लिए उसमें बड़े बड़े वर्ड्स ढूंढ करके डालते. We go on internet, we search for the difficult English words, and then we put that into the resume, and we feel as if this will create more impression, better impression on the people. It is not like that. Those people even who are sitting at the position of recruiters are simple people like you. They also understand very simple English. So there is no point writing big words to create more impression. It is better to write small, clear and concise. Fine. Use bullet points to list your responsibilities, achievements and skills. आप जो भी अपने की स्किल्स सबसे पहले आप अपने की स्किल्स मेंशन करते हो. की स्किल्स मेंशन करने के लिए इट शुड ऑलवेज बी रिटन ऑन बुलेट पॉइंट, ब्रॉड पॉइंट, सो दैट सबसे पहले वो नोटिस में आ जाना चाहिए. योर अचीवमेंट्स, योर स्किल्स should be at least made with bold fonts. Okay, so that people can see that immediately when they are skim scanning the resume. Skim scanning is something which we just do it like this. है ना? We all have seen that movie Robot. देखा है आपने? So we have seen how Chitty learns things just scanning. Yeah. So definitely recruiters gives at least 5 to 10 seconds of time on that resume, at least 15 seconds, and then shortlist or reject it. So अगर आप अपने points को bullet में रखेंगे, bold में रखेंगे, या कुछ different italics में डालेंगे, so definitely it will be noticed. Start each
Hello,
bullet
madam.
point with
Hello.
yes. Hello.
I appreciate that you are using English, although there are some places where you are using the native language we can't understand. So anyway, just a concern, madam.
Okay. So you have any query?
Not necessarily the questions. I'm just saying that there are places where you're using the native language, so we can't understand we want to understand the points you are outlining.
Correct. Yeah. So next move to the next point. Start each bullet point.
Hello, ma'am. Can you just go to the presentation mode actually, because the letters going so small to read it. You can press simply the F5 button to go to the presentation mode. Or
No, thank you, sir. Thank you for your tip. Actually, when I'm changing the slides, some of the people cannot see that slide changed. That is why I have just removed that button. Okay, so if you can see this slide, it is very good. But when I change the slide and if you cannot see, I have to go back to the normal mode. Okay.
Ma'am, anyone can maximize their screen, no? So there is no problem if the word is looking very small.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. So please adjust with the people around because everybody is not able to see when slides are changing. Okay.
Ma'am, can we get this slide on our email ID?
You will get the entire PPT on your email ID. Don't worry. I'll share this to you. I told you already.
Okay. Thanks, ma'am. Thanks.
Yeah. I'll share this slide. I'll share everything. Okay. So don't
Oh,
worry about
ma'am,
it.
while
And
presenting, at least put it into presentation mode. When you change it, you can flip through, but at least it will be better
okay,
view.
I'll try. I'll try. Okay. Fine. Highlight relevant skills and keywords. Okay. So now you have already gone through the job description. Whichever, whichever your skills, whichever your skills is directly matching the JD, right? Matching the skills which is mentioned in this job specification, you highlight that. Maybe you can, put that in a double bracket comma, or maybe you can put that in a bracket, or you can bold it, give it some italic or some different kind of font, not making it, looking fanciful, but then again looking smart, and that can easily catch attention of the people. So in addition to technical skills, soft skills are equally relevant to the job, such as your communication skills, your teamwork, problem solving abilities. In one of my slides today, I have also mentioned some of the hard skills and some of the soft skills. अगर आपको difficult हो रहा है कि from where can I get to know all these skills, you can pick and choose from that. Okay. Incorporate industry specific keywords to demonstrate your familiarity with the field. Use a clean and professional format. So I have just showed you few resume format. So it was all professional, and at the same time, it was clear, right? It was not jumbled. So everything should come in a chronological order. I'll tell you what is that order. What should start first? What should come next? Okay. आप जो font use करते हैं, there are few fonts which is, advisable to use for professional reasons, like in a resume, or maybe when we are writing emails. So Times New Roman, Calibri. So these are certain formats, fonts, with the help of which you can create your resume. Okay. Simple your job history and skills. Fine. So सबसे पहले हमें क्या करना है? Before preparing your resume, first you have to assemble everything about yourself, maybe in a piece of paper or somewhere in the Word file in the laptop or computer tab, whatever you have. Okay. So आपको जो भी experiences है, जो भी job history है, आपके जो भी skills आप डालना चाहते हो, आप पहले कहीं पर note करके रख लीजिए. Then you start preparing your resume. So what is first? Include your relevant job history, industry experience, and applicable skills. Don't feel tempted to add every place you have ever worked at. Narrow down your history to only list relevant roles or experiences. So many times in our job, we do certain work which is repetitive. We do certain work which is mere a routine work, and it is not adding much value to my profile. So don't just feel tempted of, writing every aspect of your work. Just write what is important. Try to write which also has, or which also applies some of your achievements, right? Format. Format your resume so that it is easy to identify your qualifications. Okay? If you advance in a company quickly, draw attention to that growth. If in any organization you have been able to gain promotions quickly, maybe in every
Ma'am, I
year,
think
or
your
maybe
slide is not moved actually. You're
okay, is
on
it clear
seven
now?
number slide. Yeah.
Fine. So now in some companies, if you have been able to get growth quickly, like maybe every 2 years, every year, or maybe your designation kept changing, your roles keep changing. So you have to show that how you have got growth in that organization. So I have prepared a format also how you can show this. So next slide, I'll show you that also. If you excessively job hopped, bullet those jobs without providing specifics and detail more applicable positions. First of all, it is not advisable to keep changing your job every 6 months, every year, or maybe 2 years. But it happens. We cannot help sometimes. Kabhi kabhi, sometimes we choose a job which we never wanted, but somehow we fell into it. So what do? We just can't keep continuing, right? So time has changed. So it is not something that job hopping is bad, but then again, it is important how you express that in your resume. Okay, so how you have to do it, I'll explain that to you also. Make sure the information is presented in a logical order. Okay, not like this that I started with writing my work experience, then I mentioned my qualification, then I mentioned my skills, then I mentioned my career objective. No, a resume has to have a proper logical order, so that people can focus on what in the area where they want to focus. Okay, so what is that order? I'll tell you that also. First, how resume should begin. So it is just a suggestion. Whatever I'm telling you today, this is no universal format. This is just suggestions which I felt works. If you feel it doesn't work, please don't go for it. Okay, you can have your own sense, your own logic of preparing a resume. But whatever I am telling you, that is only for reference. Fine. So your resume should begin with your name and contact details. Okay. Why? So I have mentioned here that this should come in the header part. Why in the header? If your resume is multi-paged, if you have 2 pages, right? So in every page, your name and contact detail can be seen. If your resume is just one paged, right? If it is just one paged, then this header and footer is not required. Then directly you can put your name. Let's see some of the resumes here.
Ma'am, can you please put it into slideshow mode, please? Because it is
Yeah, I'm
otherwise
just trying that.
futile to see
I'm
it here.
trying that.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
there is the fourth resume towards the right corner. It doesn't have any kind of thing which takes on the attention. It is very simple thing. So is it still working?
Code resume.
Ma'am, probably what you can do is you can pull this tools ribbon up so that there is more space available in the corner, and then I think it is not working. Or
Yeah.
maybe you can start share the presentation again so that it start working. Otherwise, it is becoming problem to see it.
Can you see the slide now with the resumes?
Slide is visible, but not in slideshow mode, ma'am.
See, I have put it in the
It's in the
slideshow
sorter
mode.
mode. It is
And
yet
I
in
have,
sort mode.
which slide
Ma'am, you
can you
can
see
just
right
zoom
now?
in.
It is 5 number.
Few resume formats?
Yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
but not in
Yeah,
Yes.
fine.
slideshow mode.
The four resume is there, ma'am.
Ma'am, you can just zoom it, ma'am, one by one, if possible.
Ma'am, I think you should actually stop presenting and then resume presenting. Then probably you'll be able to share it. Otherwise, uh, since you're investing time, it should be a little productive for everyone.
I don't know why this is not working that way.
Ma'am, maybe on the Zoom, you have selected only like presentation, not the presentation presented part.
Ma'am, you can just directly select it from PowerPoint by clicking on Share on Teams.
Now, you share the screen, not the only PPT. You share the screen, then it will work.
So I'm actually sharing the screen only. Okay.
So it should work because we always do it and it works always.
See, now there
मैम
might
आप
be some technical
स्क्रीन शेयर
glitches.
कर दीजिए।
So
मैम
I
आप
have already
स्क्रीन
shared
शेयर
the
कर
screen with
दीजिए। जूम इन हम खुद करके देख लेंगे। सब लोग जूम इन कर सकते हैं। स्क्रीन अगर बड़ा चाहिए सबको।
Okay. So I'll keep this now this way only. Okay. I'll not put it into slide mode, slideshow mode. Okay.
यस मैम,
And
सब
those,
लोग
yeah,
खुद
who
से
wants
जूम इन
to
कर
see
सकते
even
हैं।
the bigger, yeah. You can zoom in and see now. Okay. So, yeah. So what I was talking about, how your resume should begin. So when we can see all these resumes, so it starts with your name. Okay. Your name and then your contact detail somewhere on the top. Now, also these days, putting a photograph has become a commonality. Okay, so you should also put your photograph in your resume. But if you feel that you just have a back office job where a photograph is not required, or maybe if you're not very comfortable putting it, don't use it. So there is no typical fixed format which is there. It completely
Ma'am,
depends upon you how much you are
ma'am,
comfortable and with what. Okay, so
ma'am,
photograph is not compulsory. Yes.
can you explain resume wise?
See, I let me first finish my work that I have done for you. At the end, maybe you can ask your questions and I can do it. Okay, because no, this is not something which
Okay,
cannot
ma'am.
be explained itself. It is just that I am just explaining, I'm just giving you an example by showing it that what should come first and what is the importance of it. Every resume has more or less the same content. Okay, it is just the presentation is
Okay,
different.
okay.
When you go through the resume, you will yourself know it. Okay,
Okay, okay,
yeah.
ma'am.
So let's get to the slide. So first, your name should always be written in bold letters. Fine. Because whenever somebody is talking to you based on that resume would like to speak to you either with your first name or your last name, so it should be very, very clear. Next, your mobile number, your email ID, your LinkedIn ID, everything should be clearly mentioned either on the top or somewhere near to the top. Some icons I have mentioned here. Right. So why have I mentioned these icons? That this makes your resume look even beautiful, presentable. So rather than writing mobile number, you can just put one of these icon and write your number. Rather than writing email ID, you can just put this icon and mention your email ID. Okay. So that just makes it presentable. At the bottom, I have specially mentioned this location. Putting location is not compulsory. It is a choice. Why? Many recruiters, many recruiters have a strict mindset on choosing a people from proper location. Like for an example, if currently I am sitting in Mumbai and if I stay somewhere near Church Gate, right? So people who are hiring in Navi Mumbai, who are hiring in Thane, or maybe who are hiring in Andheri, will not shortlist my profile because they will find that this person stays very far and everyday commuting will become difficult. So whether you want to put the location or not, that is completely on your discretion. Second important point with location. Now, many of us also don't want to commute. हम हर किसी को ट्रैवल करना पसंद नहीं है, right? So if you put your location specifically, then under that ATS, applicant tracking system, your resume will get rejected immediately. So if you're a person who belongs to Mumbai, your location should be Mumbai. If you belong to Pune, your location should be Pune. If you belong to Delhi, your location should be Delhi. Rather than giving exact location, if in case you're not ready to commute, and if you may understand or you may know that the recruiter have that dubious mindset on location part.
Ma'am,
Fine. So yes,
ma'am, do we have to write our full address, home address in the location part, or we can just
that is what.
vaguely give an example?
See, why am I talking about location right now? This is the reason that I'm talking about location. That if you want to give your location, if you want to write your complete address, even that is right. If you don't want to give your complete address, even that is not wrong. Even that is also right. It is completely upon your discretion, your choice. What do you want to put? Okay? Location लिखने और नहीं लिखने के क्या क्या reasons है, that is what I am just making you understand. Did you get my point?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So writing address is or not is completely upon your discretion. If you want to write it, you can. If you don't want to write it, there is no point writing it. Fine. So after completing the basic introduction about you and the contact details, we come to the profile summary. Okay. So every resume should have a profile summary. If in case you are a freshers with maybe experience up to 2 years, so you don't have a good profile summary till now. Okay, because you have not worked anywhere, you don't have any relevant work experience to mention in the summary. So it is suggested that rather than writing a summary, it is better to write a career objective. Okay, but if in case you had an experienced person with an experience of 4, 5, 10, 12, 15 years, it is better to write a profile summary. Well, some of you may also ask, why can't I write both? So definitely you can write both. If you are able to handle both the part, career objective, at the same time profile summary, you can write both. But if you ask me in terms of advising, I would say either write your profile summary or write your career objective, because this does nothing but just stretch the resume, just take space in the resume. Okay. Profile summary. What are we supposed to write in a profile summary? A resume summary is a short professional introduction to resume that highlights your biggest professional achievements and most valuable skills. Okay. So your profile summary, in short, talks about you, about your skills, about your qualifications, and maybe about your achievements. Okay. A good summary is 2 to 4 sentences long, not very long, right? So it should include years of experience, job title, your biggest achievements till date, or maybe some essential skills which are relevant for the role. So again, profile summary is something which can be customized depending upon the job description that has been posted. अपनी प्रोफाइल समरी को हम जॉब डिस्क्रिप्शन के अकॉर्डिंग चेंज कर सकते हैं, कस्टमाइज कर सकते हैं. Okay, some examples are here. These examples has just been taken from internet, so it is profusely available. It is advised, please go to internet, search for profile summary related to your skills, related to your area of specialization. Do a little bit of cut from some points or maybe some skills, and just make a fit in your resume.
Ma'am,
Okay.
ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, in the last slide you have mentioned essential skills. Ma'am, can you just elaborate it? please.
Yeah, so couple of your essential skills which is relevant for the role. Okay, so now if the role demands somebody who can handle a team, right? So in your profile summary, you can mention leadership skills, well
Okay.
developed leadership skills, handled a team of 5, right? Because this is something which was demanded in the job description. And somewhere you have also handled that, somewhere you have also done that. So that is what you can mention the essential skills. जैसे कि job description is required, similarly you are just putting that into the summary. Because I have told already, recruiters doesn't have time going through your entire resume. They will just skim and scan. So during that process, the important terms should come into their eyes quickly. If you
Okay.
have achieved some of awards, rewards, something like that in your previous organizations, you can also mention that in your profile summary. A winner of certain award, or maybe something like that, a master strategist, so everything should be relevant to the JD which is mentioned. So that is what here we are talking about, the most essential skills. Got that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So this is just a few examples. आपको internet पे मिल जाएगा. There's no point reading it. I've just mentioned it. If you get the slide, you can just go through it. Fine. Some key skills that I told you, you can just, read some of the soft skills, some leadership skills, or some hard skills, that is technical skills, which can be relevant to your job. You can just pick and choose from here, and you can write it down in your resume. Okay. But as it is mentioned, a resume should never tell lies. Because if, for an example, now here in soft skill, it is mentioned that I am very good at presenting, right? So you also mentioned this, that very good presentation skills. Now, during interview, they can ask you questions related to this. During interview, they will judge you, your body language, your gestures, your postures, how you are adding value to their questions, how you are answering things. So they will judge you from your skill which is mentioned in the resume. So everything that you write, you need to have an explanation ready for it. Now here in leadership skills, if you just go and write goal setting, so that is one of my key skill. So interviewer has all the right to ask you questions related to goal setting. How do you set your goals? How do you strategize in setting goals of yours, your team, your whatever, things related to you and your work? So आप जो भी key skills mention करते हो, whatever you write, you should be ready with a complete explanation that how these skills matches to your profile. Okay, so whatever we write, we have to be ready with explanation. Now, why am I telling this again and again, guys? Now, sometimes there are certain skills which is mentioned in the JD, sorry, but maybe I don't have, or maybe I have. But since I didn't get a chance to show that, I didn't get a chance to express that, I have not been able to do it. So still you can mention those skills and be ready with some example so that you can justify that skill. Are you getting my point?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So these are certain key skills. You can use this to write in your resume. More key skills are available on internet. आप वहां से भी जाकर के help ले सकते हैं. Qualification. So qualification, just after my introduction, just after the profile summary, qualification takes its place. the highest degree should be mentioned on top. Whichever has been your recent degree or highest degree, that should have been mentioned on top, followed by next highest. Okay. The details. अभी detail क्या क्या आएगा आपके qualification में? The name of the course which you have done, name of the specialization, the area where you have done that course, the duration, 2022 to 2024, 2001 to 2004. So that duration is very important. Probably month is not that important, but writing year is very important. And also in qualification, never forget to write the name of the institution. Now, why am I pressurizing so much on the name of the institution? Sometimes, maybe your luck, you get to recruited by some, your recruiter might belong to same college, same school, same place, same batch, or maybe batch, very close to what yours has. So they create a connectivity with you. So that is why writing the name of the institution is very important. And sometimes you have the institution itself holds a pride and honor itself in the name. So that is also, it is important. But even if that is not the case, please write all these details because recruiter wants to know this. Maybe this can be one of the shortlisting criteria, that they are shortlisting you on the basis of the course that you have done, on the basis of the year when you have passed, on the basis of the institution. See, if you don't write it, your resume is anyway going to be rejected. But if you write it, the chances of getting selected becomes higher. So all this information must be mentioned there. Okay. When it comes to marks, CGPA, percentage, marks, whatever you have achieved in your life.
Ma'am,
Now,
slide
if
is not moving.
is this qualification slide or some other slide?
Ma'am, this is the
Qualification
Qualification slide is
slide.
visible.
Qualification.
Qualification, right? So this is what I'm talking about. Yeah. So now if in case you want to put your marks, so you have to understand the order of your marks. If you have got very good marks in your 10th standard, if you got little lesser from your 10th to 12th, but when it came to graduation, when it came to post graduation, you really collapsed, right? So this consistency in the marks getting lowered should never be mentioned in the resume. If somehow you can show that 10th 12th graduation was bad, but then again post graduation I have been able to get good marks, then that shows an improvement curve. So again you can put your marks. Again, in terms of percentage, in terms of CGPA or marks, if it is less than 75%, it is advisable not to mention this in your resume. Now, this is a point where don't give a specific criteria of rejecting or not selecting your resume. Okay? So, marks अगर आपके बहुत अच्छे हैं तो ही mention कीजिए, अगर अच्छे नहीं है तो मत mention कीजिए. In all the degrees that I have had, starting from my 10th, if only one degree was good, rest it was not, even then, don't include it in your resume. Okay? So in terms of marks, agar achhe nahi hai, please don't include it at all. Fine? I think this is clear. Qualification. So just after introduction, profile summary, qualification should be mentioned. Then your work experience. Now here is first template in mentioning your work experience. If your work remains, has the slide changed, guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am. Yes, yes.
Right. So if your work remains same in all the organization with little advancement, with little changes, then this is the order how you can write your experience or your professional attainments. Okay. Just write name of the company, the designation that you were, working in the capacity, and finally duration. August 24 to March 26, right? Company 1. Company 2, similarly, company 3. Even if you have been working in the same organization and you have been getting growth, you have been getting promotions frequently in the similar manner, you can just keep writing your every next designation. The company remains same, the designation changes and the duration changes. Because हर कंपनी में हमने more or less एक ही जैसा काम किया है. In capacity, previously I was assistant manager, then I became a manager, then I became a senior manager. So just more responsibilities got added. So more responsibility, so more the better responsibility will come on top. And when I was assistant manager, the smaller work will go down, or maybe we can just remove it, because people can definitely notice agar immediate growth hai, change in designation say, that means this guy must have worked very hard and very good. So this is, you can prepare blogs like this, and then you can draw your work experience. So this helps in saving the space also in the resume. And also this concise format gives clear picture about you. Also in this format, if you have lots of job changes, you can hide it. People will not notice much of this duration. Definitely आपको duration तो लिखना ही पड़ेगा. You cannot get away with it. You have to mention, but then again, this will get itself hidden by the elaborated work experience with elaborated key skills that you mention. Okay, so this is the way how you can just save the space and give all the information about you in a concise manner. If your work is different in all the organizations, I worked in different capacities in different organizations. For promotions, for growth, I kept changing jobs maybe every 2 years or every 3 years. So you have to write it separately. Company 1, company 2, maybe companies you have changed till now. Okay. And if your work experience is not same, you have to write all the experiences. But then again, in this case, you cannot elaborate your experience. You just need to write the important points. And if it is backed by achievement, nothing like that. Okay. So these are the two templates which I have mentioned. I'm telling again, these are just suggestions. Whether you wanted to imply it or not, completely depends upon you. Certifications and achievements. Now, guys.
Ma'am,
Yes.
what if do we have growth frequently in the same company without changing organization more than 7 years? Every year we have growth and progressions. Then how should we
So this
mention
is
it?
this is what I have just told you. Now here, if you have quick growth, changes designation. So you have to write all your designations which you have been assigned right from the beginning till now.
Yeah, we can
The
mention
company,
company names once. We can
yes,
mention
just
company name
once.
once.
Just
Yeah,
once,
okay.
just once. The company name will
Okay.
remain same. It should be written once, but designation should keep changing, and the duration in which you have been designated in that position. So this
Okay.
duration is very important. That you were there for 1 year, you were there for 2 years, 3 years, that should definitely be mentioned. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Certifications and achievements. Now, the time is like that. This is the demand of the industry, that you should have at least 2 or 3 certifications, relevant certifications in your area of specialization. Whether you are into marketing, you are into HR, you are into finance, IT, business development, any sector, any industry, the certifications plays very important role. Some certifications comes from free, like not free exactly, but then again at a very low cost. Some certifications might ask you to pay good amount of money, but these certifications increases your chances of getting shortlisted and finally selected. So आप में से जिसको भी मौका मिलता है, whenever you get a chance to get yourself some certification in your area of work, please go ahead and do it. Talk to your guide, talk to your mentor, and they will suggest you what can be most beneficial for you. There should be separate column for certifications and achievement. अगर हम आप अगर resume formats में जाएंगे, so you can see that one column there is only certification which is mentioned, and one column where only achievement is mentioned. With certificate, certification should be mentioned only when you have a valid certificate with you. So that is why you just cannot write the name of it for the sake of writing it. If you are carrying a valid certificate, only then that certification has a value. For an example, you are all are a student of this online education program. Okay. So in this online education program, we are doing some training, maybe for your professional development. You cannot add these as a certificate value. Maybe someday you do a course on advanced Excel, but that is just a classroom session which has happened. You cannot write it under your certification. You can write it under your skills. That yes, MS Excel is my skill. Personality development, communication skills. So these can be your skills, but this is not a certificate program. So you cannot mention that. So certification सिर्फ उसका लिखेंगे जिसकी certificate हमारे पास है. Otherwise, we will not mention it. When it comes to achievement, academic for freshers up to 2 years of experience. Unless you complete your 2 years into the industry, your academic achievements is important and is acceptable. Like we write, we won inter-school basketball competition, inter-college cricket competition, or maybe some quiz competitions, or simulation projects, whatever you can mention, right? But these cannot be mentioned once you have completed 2 years into the system, because that has no value now. So all your achievements should be strictly professional, strictly resonating your work, resonating your accomplishment on your work. So above 3 years, 2 years of experience should mention only professional achievements. Okay? So wherever you work, try to add more value. Even if it is a routine job, you can add more value into it. So I'll give you an example. So I'm a consultant and I handle HR of several companies. So one of the company, so there was a guy who was recruited and he had a very routine kind of job, which was calling clients, okay, calling the prospects. So because there was some dearth of data, there's some scarcity, data nahi tha. So these guys were asked to, go on internet and search for data. So what this guy did, he went on internet and he found a website itself which has a list of the prospective customers which that company needed. Now this is something which is going to be called as his achievement. So just for this achievement, just for this data which he has found, because company did not had to spend anything and they got very good data of their prospective customers, this guy was awarded star of the quarter award. It also now this has added into his achievement. So even if it is a routine work, even if it is a very simple nature of work, you have to be creative, you have to be innovative in doing it, and that is how you can achieve things. If we already think, oh, this is a very simple job, I didn't wanted it, I didn't wanted to do it, why it has come to me, why am I doing it? If you keep stressing yourself, if you keep thinking negatively towards your job, your achievement section will never be filled, guys. So whatever comes in your way, try to achieve something in that particular role only. So every role should have some achievement. Gradually, you will succeed. Gradually, you will get growth. But growth कैसे मिलेगा? जब आप इन अचीवमेंट्स को अपने रिज्यूमे में मेंशन करेंगे और आपकी सीवी अच्छी जगह शॉर्टलिस्ट होगी और अच्छी जगह आप रिक्रूट हो जाएंगे. So these achievements creates lots of value to your profile, definitely, and also your resume. Okay, so whatever be your nature of work, try to bring some creativity, try to bring some innovation to it. Okay, and keep adding this achievement part of your resume. References. Writing references is completely your personal choice. Nobody can ask you that why haven't you mentioned references in the resume, because if they need references, they will ask you that please provide some references. We have to do some background check. So whether you want to put references or you don't want to put it, it is again your personal choice. If you are very strong candidate, very comfortable with your previous managers, with your previous leaders, you can definitely put their names in the resume. But if you think that somehow they might create a problem for you, or these people should not know them, don't mark this references point in your resume. Okay, personal details are important: your date of birth, your gender, your marital status. You can also add languages known to you. If you know different languages like English, Hindi, Gujarati, Marathi, Tamil, Telugu, Bengali, or anything like that, please do mention that in the resume. This can also be an important point of shortlisting criteria for you. Some people require them. So mention if you know different languages in your resume. Okay, so minimum this personal detail is very very important, because ये सारे point है shortlisting के. आपका date of birth मेरे age requirement को match करता है या नहीं करता है? Your gender, does it suffice the nature of the work or not? Your marital status is equally important. So do mention this before the recruiter get a chance to ask you. They will get all the information through your resume only. Okay, languages bhi aap likh sakte ho if you have. If you know different languages, you can mention it. Proofread the draft. Whatever you have mentioned, go back, check it yourself, or get it checked by somebody whom you can trust, somebody who mentors you, guides you. There shouldn't be any kind of spelling mistakes, grammar mistakes, punctuation mistakes, typo error. So these days, when we prepare our resume on Word file, so Word suggests us with the right grammar, Word file suggests us with the right spelling. But I think this kind of support is not provided when we, prepare our resume on some tool, like if we do it on Canva or any other designing tool. So I think these kind of support is not there. So you have to go back and proofread every sentence, every word which you have written. There shouldn't be any mistake. Formatting, review formatting very closely, including font, alignment, spacing. We have to be clear that the entire resume is made with the same font. It is not something that name has been written in some different font. Professional experience किसी और font में है, topics किसी और font में है, name of the company in some other font. So this all looks bad. So your entire resume should be written in the same font. Just when we are writing the topics like the headings, like work experience, qualifications, achievements, certifications, then maybe we can write all this in uppercase, or maybe we can just make it bolder, or just a 1 point bigger than the normal descriptions. Okay, but the font should remain same. Spacing, the spacing should be similar. So your resume should be a good presentation, okay, before the recruiter. Headings, clearly mention headings to clarify in short the details mentioned under it. So जो भी आप headings mention कर रहे हो, if it is advisable that it should be written in bold letters, uppercase, so that it clearly catches the attention of the recruiter. Okay, so proofreading is important. Resume बनाने के बाद या कोई भी important document of your life, even if you are sending a mail to somebody and this is an important mail, you should always go back and read it twice, whether you have written everything right or not, whether this message is clear or not, is it creating some kind of confusion, or it is not giving the exact message which was required. So every important document, go back, read it twice, and then send it. Okay, fine. So with that, I come to an end of my session today. You can shoot your questions, whatever it is
Yes,
there.
ma'am, I have a few questions.
Just okay. But your question should be related to resume building today, because this is what we are, studying in the session. Okay, there shouldn't be
Yeah,
anything
so
else other than resume. Yeah, tell me.
So yeah, based on my past interviews, what I saw is recruiters basically see the project work we have done in our undergraduation or
Yes.
post graduation, for example. So nowhere we have spoken about any project work. How we should mention it on our resume. For example, in MBA we are doing certain project, right?
Correct. So
Or
just
even in the
below your
organization we do some projects.
yeah.
Yeah.
So so now we have spoken about segments such as certifications. We have spoken about segments such as achievements. If you think that you have done good number of projects as well, you can make a different heading itself with projects, and then under that you can mention all your projects starting from academic to the work projects, real work projects.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
and if you
And
think that your projects are really very important and you have lots of knowledge about it, because see, sometimes I have seen this in many colleges, especially in MBA colleges, that you do lots of projects, but when you are being asked in detail about it, you're not able to answer, because most of the time आपने projects सिर्फ cut copy paste किया है. So unless you are very confident about answering all the questions related to this project, don't put it in the bold format. Simple एक line में बस mention कर दीजिए, उसको बहुत ज़्यादा exaggerate करके show करने की जरूरत नहीं है. Okay?
okay. One more
Yes.
question I had. Any past internship should be mentioned on resume even if we have full-time job now? Or if we are looking for another.
See, now that is what. If you have already completed your 2 years into the industry, okay, so these academic projects, these academic internships doesn't have much value into my profile now. So in just one liner, it should be mentioned that I have completed my internship from such and such company, and this was my topic. That is all.
Okay.
No detailing is required.
Okay.
Okay.
Do we
Ma'am,
have any
So now you got
official placement group, ma'am?
official.
Official placement group, WhatsApp group, any kind of group? Because regarding these meetings, we are not getting any email. It comes on some unofficial group. So do we have any official group where we can get added to it?
So well, Priyanka can only answer this question.
ma'am,
Okay.
Yes, actually,
what is the
hello.
applicability of ATS compliance in the resume, ma'am? How does that work basically? ATS compliance.
ATS. What is ATS? ATS is basically a tool, which is designed to shortlist candidate on the basis of the key skills required for that job. Okay. So this is applicant tracking system. Under this applicant tracking system, for every role, it is not just one. So this
Hmm.
ATS can be customized. So if I am looking for a marketing manager, right?
Hmm.
So all
Hmm.
the key skills that I feel a marketing manager should have, I'll even before you apply for it, I'll mention that key skills required. एक column होता है. So I'll
Right.
mention all the key skills which is required. And if your resume has similar skills, this tool will catch and put you into the recommended criteria.
So, ma'am, no, that's a keyword search basically. But which are the
Keyword search.
templates?
Correct.
Yeah, which are the templates which are not ATS compliant? Like the one which you showed, 4 templates. So those designed or designer template, are they ATS compliant, or more simpler line by line kind of a resume is ATS compliant? There is always a confusion like this.
Okay, so I have no idea about this. I'll have to find out.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, ma'am.
I'm
Okay.
sorry. Yeah.
Hello, good afternoon,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay, ma'am. Sorry that I joined the program just on the way because the network challenge. I was from a very bad network area. I have to rush before I could meet where I get network. It's already late. But I just want to please request if there's any way we can get a other through our email. Our brother just talking about a group WhatsApp, but a copy of a prepared this resume, just a copy, just like especially like what's that need have we a sample of a copy that has been prepared about a particular person, just one or two. I don't know if it's possible, ma.
Hello.
Yeah.
Actually, you will receive your this video on your LMS portal after the session. So just wait for the 1 week. It will be uploaded on your LMS portal. Okay.
In which section,
Okay.
madam? Notice board 3 or where?
Yes, right. You will receive that, and you will get that notification as well.
And
Okay,
what
ma.
about
You said it
Okay.
will
So
be
fine. Any
uploaded
more
to my.
questions related to resume building? Yeah.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
you what
Yeah.
it will
Please
be
ask.
and
uploaded
where
to
can we
my
get this PPT?
email, to my LMS, to
Uh,
my own personal LMS.
do hobbies need to be mentioned in the resume, ma'am? Hobbies? Do we have any? I mean, we
Okay.
mention it in
Fine.
our resume?
So now when it comes to hobbies, okay. Now hobbies are the biggest dubious thing that we have in our life. What we love to do in our pastime, we think that this is our hobby. Cooking, dancing, watching TV, watching cricket, and playing video games, surfing internet. These are not hobbies, guys. Hobby is something which adds value to me. So, what is your hobby? Tell me if I ask you, what is your hobby?
Uh,
What
I
is
can
adding
paint
value to
good.
you?
I mean, I can paint good, excellent art. I'm
Exactly.
more
Now,
creative.
yes. So when you are a creative person, right? You are a creative person, painting can be your hobby. So you can mention that. But just
Book reading
sketching,
is
drawing
considered
cannot
under the
be
hobby.
your hobby, right? So if
Sports
you have a
related.
very
Yeah.
specific, if you have a
Ma'am, book
very
reading
specific
consider this as
hobby,
a hobby में.
let me finish first, guys, please. Yeah. So if you have a hobby which is adding value to your personality, which is adding value to your profile, do mention it on the resume. but don't mention it for the sake of writing it. Did you get my point?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Next, sir, whoever was asking questions, please do it one by one so that I can answer you.
Okay,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
And you said it will be uploaded to LMS. I was asking of this a kind of sample for the program we just attended. Since I came late, at least that will help me to just glance through a sample of one or two. But you said it will be LMS. But is it LMS? Is it my own personal LMS? Through my email?
Okay, fine. Any more questions that is related to resume building, guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Actually,
Yeah, please ask.
Ma'am, after graduation, I come for 2 years. I did competitive exams, and now I'm doing MBA. So it should be mentioned in the resume or not?
Mm, I don't think so. This has to be mentioned because when you will write in your qualification section that you completed your graduation 2019 to 2022, then there was a gap of 2 years. So you'll mention that your MBA, program started in 2024 to 2026. So let recruiter notice this and ask you questions related to this rather than you mentioning it. Okay,
Okay,
so
ma'am.
don't mention that you have been
Okay.
preparing. Let them ask if they
Ah,
have this query in your resume.
I have to do something.
Yeah.
Okay, ma'am.
All right.
And ma'am, teaching can be a hobby.
No, teaching is not a hobby.
So
Teaching
basically,
is
I
a
like.
work.
I have a question.
Teaching is a work. What do you teach?
Like basically, I teach to small children like first to eighth standard, but that is
Mhm.
not a big job I do.
Okay, fine. So now teaching small children for the sake of, because you like it, right? So that comes
Yes,
under
ma'am.
social service, right? A service to the society. So that is not. This is not this you can I think this you can mention in your hobby, like social service, and then in bracket you can mention teaching, maybe underprivileged children or kids from poor sections, something like that, which also adds value to your personality. अभी ऐसे बोले कि I just love to teach smaller children. So which small children? So that means you have some good number of small children at your house and you start teaching them. Right. So you have to mention in a way that is creating some impact. So in hobbies you write social service, in bracket you mention teaching underprivileged children or poor children from the poor background, kind of. Okay, so you're serving to the society, so
Okay,
this can be a hobby. Yes.
okay, thank you.
Ma'am, I have a question.
Yeah.
Ma'am, as you said, you are a recruiter too. So, putting a picture in your resume, how much it affects your resume?
How much?
It affects in a good way or in a like it's normal not to put a picture in resume or it is a
Photo
good
you're
thing.
talking about, the photo.
Yes, yes,
Okay, fine.
yes.
See, now this is completely depending on the mindset of the person. Okay. So, but let's understand if you have a client servicing role, okay, if you are getting into a client servicing role, this doesn't mean only sales. Now, this is something wherein a role which requires lots of coordination work within the department, within the company, within the industry, so that kind of role, the front office role jisko hum kehte hain. So these
Front end,
roles
front
should
end.
always have a picture attached in the resume. Mostly
Okay,
for back
okay.
office jobs, picture is not required, but then again, in terms of that picture, it should be a professionally built picture in a professional attire and should be taken in the studio,
Hello,
not
madam.
by the
Okay, okay,
mobile. Okay,
okay,
Hello.
okay, ma'am.
Yes,
get
madam.
yourself.
Uh, hello.
Hello.
May I ask a question?
Yes, I'm grateful for the session, but I would like to know the languages. Can you include languages in your CV, in your resume?
Hello.
Priyanka, can you just decode that? Yeah.
I, I
Hello.
was saying, can you include
Actually,
languages
he
in
asking
your
about the languages.
resume?
Should we exactly?
He's asking about?
He asking about the can we putting the languages which we know about
Yeah, I
the
already
like
said that. When you
basically
are writing your personal details, you can mention all the languages which you know. Sometimes your selection can happen on the basis of the languages you know.
Madam,
So
I have a
whatever language
question.
you know, it should be mentioned. If see, if it is only English and Hindi, so there's no point putting it. So that
I've
is,
sent to
the
them now.
minimum requirement that we have. But if you know any regional language also, so please mention all those in the resume.
3,000, 3,000.
Hello.
Yes.
Madam, I just want to ask the question that how to select the chemical field. But I'm currently an HR compliance department, but sometime I have to recruit also. So on what basis I have to recruit that person, and what type of question may I do with the person for the chemical field?
Chemical.
Yeah,
Okay. So you are asking me how to recruit a person into chemical
yeah,
department kind of thing.
yeah, like a production or QC.
So this is something which is pertaining to your organization. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what is the requirement of that position? Find out. What are the JD?
Yeah.
What is the JS? What is the requirement? You go to the this line managers who is already handling this department and ask them, like, what
Mm-hmm.
kind of person are you looking for this? What he or
Okay.
she should know? What are the key skills that they should know? And put according to that, you can prepare your questionnaire.
Yeah. Can you brief about the JS and JD? Afterwards, it's your part.
Ma'am, do we need to put our signature on resume?
No,
Because
not
in our
required.
past resumes we have done that.
I don't think
Okay.
because
Not required.
the thing was, I don't know whether it's my last.
Uh,
Because
Madam,
most
what
of the
about
time we sell. Yeah. What about?
Okay.
JS and
Yes,
JD
ma'am. Continue.
option?
The
Yeah.
thing is,
So most of the time we, email our resume these days. We don't, give it by hand. So that
Mm-hmm.
signatures and all
this
is
one,
not required. Signatures is
no, no,
required
the thing is,
to declare that whatever is mentioned in the resume
so nobody
is
goes.
all correct in my knowledge and there is nothing false about it. So, but anyways, it is already understood, an underlying fact that we should not write anything false on the resume. So the signature is not required. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. JD and JS is entirely a different thing. It is about job description and job specification. It has got no relation to resume. So today we have the session on resume building. Please focus on this, guys. If you have more questions related to resume, please ask me.
Ma'am, I want to ask about the pros and cons. Uh, while presenting the resume, the interviewer asks about the pros and cons. Can you help me with that? How can I formulate my own, and in which sense should I add it in the resume or not?
Pros and cons.
Yes, ma'am. Like
Your
my strengths
your
and
pros
weakness.
and
Sorry,
cons.
strengths and
Okay.
weakness. Sorry.
Your strengths. Yeah. So strength and weakness is not a parameter which should be included in the resume. Let the recruiter ask you, prepare it, and answer it there.
Okay. In which sense should I
Because
answer them?
when
Like,
you when you talk about strengths, right? So you
hmm.
want to talk about specific achievements that you have, received during your work. So you can mention under the section of achievements. Even
Hmm.
during your mentioning your entire job role, if you have certain strength that I can lead people in the right way, in the right direction.